Let me give you a story, actually a part of the story in 2 Samuel chapter 15, verses 13 and 14. Then we'll also read verse 30, because I want you to really get the setting of what's going on here with David, and actually the significance then, based upon the setting, the significance of the 23rd Psalm. 2 Samuel 15, verses 13 and 14. A messenger soon arrived in Jerusalem to tell David, all Israel has joined Absalom in a conspiracy against you. Can you imagine getting that news as the king of Israel? Now, all of Israel, everybody's joined together with your son to take the kingdom away from you. And then the messenger continues by saying, then we must flee at once, or it will be too late. David urged his men, hurry. If we get out of the city before Absalom arrives, both we and the city of Jerusalem will be spared from disaster. And so David realizes we've got to make a move now. This is a serious situation that we've got to do something about. His inner worry and anxiety is now driving him out of the city of Jerusalem. Then in verse 30 of 2 Samuel 15, same chapter, David walked up the road to the Mount of Olives, weeping as he went. His head was covered and his feet were bare as a sign of mourning. And the people who were with him covered their heads and wept as they climbed the hill. So can you get that picture in your mind with me today? Here's David. He's an amazing king, incredible king, and now his son is trying to take the kingdom from him. And they realize we've got to leave Jerusalem or Absalom's going to come into the city and not only kill David, but also make a wreck of the city. So David decides, in the midst of his distress, that he's going to actually leave the city. He walks out weeping. He's barefooted. He's showing the mourning that he has for this situation. He is in tremendous distress. And as he's going out of the city, walking through the Kidron Valley, he moves out into the territory of the wilderness. And in the territory of the wilderness, this was a territory that David was very familiar with. He knew the wilderness. He had been raised, if you will, in the wilderness as a young shepherd boy. So he's now back in territory that takes him back in his mind for many, many years. And in the midst of that he pens the words that you and I are very familiar with in the 23rd Psalm. He says this, the very, very first word. Let me read for you from the NIV translation, then we'll also look at it from the New Living Translation. It says, the Lord, David declares, the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. The Lord is my shepherd, I have everything that I need. Here is David in a moment when he's in great, great distress. He's actually brokenhearted. He's losing his kingdom, he feels. He's not sure what's going to happen to his future. He's losing relationship, actually by this time has lost relationship with his dear son that he loved. And now in this moment he's saying, what am I going to do? How can I handle the stress that I'm under right now? And out in that wilderness, again, very familiar territory to David. He'd been a shepherd boy for many years, and he's back out in the wilderness again, and he writes these words, the Lord is my shepherd, I have everything that I want.